Hello and welcome back to the Game Boys podcast. Will and James here, episode 15 this time. Something, cue the intro.
Really? Wow.
What is he like? Do do boo do boo do headshot do do do. Dubstep.
Really?
Anyways, how you been this week, man?
I'm all right. Just been, working as usual and
Yeah,
playing games when I get a chance.
I played some games
Yeah,
this
really.
week. I played one game.
Did you
It
beat
was
it?
no,
Oh, you played it for the stream?
the stream. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I really to be determined.
Okay.
To be talked about later.
Might as well talk about it now then.
Yeah, let's talk
Go
about
for
yours first, because yours was dead.
Interesting.
That's
Mine was
wonderful.
interesting. Name of the game, even though last week I believe we said it was called Relicant, it's actually called Relicta or something.
It's like Relica.
It's like relic with a TA, like Relicta or
Is there a
Relic.
TA?
Yeah. That's the reason autocorrect put Relicant,
Really can't.
whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, I really couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I really couldn't believe that it was a puzzle game.
Oh,
It got through my
No.
defenses there.
Not even the fact that it was a puzzle game. The fact that the whole time you were playing, I thought there was just a fan blowing and not even the game sound. The sound in that game was terrible. It sounded
Yeah.
empty. There was like no background music or nothing.
Well, they were talking. It was like they sounded like Indians. I don't know. And they were talking shit to one another and like cussing each other out and stuff.
Yeah, I loved when you first started and they're like, "Thank you for coming to customer support."
Yeah, it was really weird. The game itself though was like puzzles that were actually not easy.
No, it
They were
didn't seem too easy.
fucking physics-based puzzles, I guess.
Magnetic physics base. I remember the one where you had 3 boxes and you had to get one through a gate, but you couldn't touch it.
Yeah, I couldn't get to it.
And I remember I figured out how to get, like, after you've already gotten the box out, I was like,
No, you said it before I got the box
Yeah,
out. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I can't do what you're saying because
I knew what you had to do in the end, but it didn't help where you were stuck at.
yeah. So basically, you have boxes, and some of the boxes have symbols on them. You also have like a positive and a negative, like magnetic thing you can do to them. I don't really know what the hell you call it.
Yeah, I just called it magnet power.
And there's also some other little neat tricks and whatever.
You can cause a weird glitchy looking thing where like the boxes will start bouncing off each other. That was just funny.
One thing that's funny is I actually have access to this game on almost everything except the Xbox. I've already gotten it for free on Epic, which is the one I played.
Mm-hmm.
It's also part of the PS Plus. I might even have it on Steam for all the hell I know.
If you don't, I'll buy it for you on Steam.
Oh, I'm sure you will, and you'll totally play it, right?
No, I said buy it for you. I'm not getting it.
Oh, no, I'm good.
I don't want it anywhere near me.
So, yeah, it's basically a puzzle game. Graphically, it's cool. It looks cool. It looks really cool, actually. Other than for that, why the fuck Norton won't leave me alone? But
No,
like, oh, please look at me. I'm your whatever the fuck. No one cares. Norton.
fucking like Flippy up in this bitch.
Yeah. So, um,
Shout out to
not
the 2 people who remember them.
so I played that game for 3 hours, and I
I'm
must have got
sorry.
through what 3 levels, 3 different.
Mhm.
I mean, other than the tutorial, it was like 2 or 3 different. It took forever to figure out these damn puzzles,
Oh yeah.
and just sitting there trying shit over and over until something works half the time.
Do you remember
Um,
any of the story? Because I couldn't tell you any of it.
I mean, the story was kind of like you work in some facility that makes these crazy things, and you're part of like a research and development team of
Yeah.
sorts, and like you're supposedly what you're doing is just revolutionary and it's going to change the world and whatever. And it was like
Man, I wish I knew magnets were revolutionary.
magnets. Well,
Yeah.
I don't think that's just magnets. There's a lot more
It
going
was
on there.
it was just magnet power and a little bit of the floaty thing.
Yeah, whatever the hell. Anyway, it wasn't fun. And then the very last round I got to, there was literally one box, and I had no clue what the hell I was supposed to do, so I just gave up at that point. Needless to say, I will not be playing this anymore. It's not a playlist at all. I already deleted it as soon as I finished playing it, streaming it.
Oh, I've been there.
But I wasn't angry though. I didn't angrily do it. I was just like, nah, I don't ever see myself going back
Nah,
to this.
I wasn't necessarily angry about that. What was that one game I played? Citizen
Loot
Sleeper.
River,
No, not Loot River. No, not Citizen Sleeper. The one before Citizen Sleeper. This War of Mine.
huh? Oh, this
I
War
think-
of Mine, yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of deleted that. I was like, yeah, that's not my thing.
So, scale from 1 to 10, I'd have to give it somewhere around a 3, maybe.
No, that's fair.
I mean, it's not my type of game. If I'd have known it was a puzzle game, I never would have got on the list in the first place.
Yeah.
Especially considering it's basically strictly puzzle. It's like it's not some little puzzles mixed in with like cool other shit. No, it's puzzles.
Yeah, usually
and that's it.
usually those aren't bad though.
Yeah, these
Like
puzzles are hard as hell. You know,
Like the Spider-Man puzzles you were doing.
yeah. I mean, that's
Those
a
are
little
kinda
bit
fun.
of puzzling
Yeah.
mixed in with an actual game that is not a puzzle game. Is fine.
Yeah. My game was Rage 2. Now, Rage 2 is a post-apocalypse type game. Free realm, and you start out as a soldier whose name is on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. Walker. His name's Walker. And you fight these. I'm not exactly sure what they are. Mutants, I think they're called. I'm sure there was more explained about them in the first game, but I didn't really understand much. They kind of look like a cross between some Gears of War enemies mixed with like Borderland-esque enemies.
They looked a lot like some of them looked a lot like the Borderland guys.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the dude with the mohawk and the,
Yeah. No, I wasn't talking about them yet. I was going to get to those.
Oh,
Those guys remind me a lot of the Psychos.
There's a reason why when you originally spun this last week, I said it's a poor man's Borderlands because
That's exactly what it felt like. It felt like a poor man's Borderlands. Imagine your Borderland gameplay. You got the shooting, the running, the weird graphics. It was the biggest thing. It was lagging with the looting.
there's
I don't-
looting. It's just
No,
not
I don't mean it that way. I mean like you don't loot for guns or anything like that. Like, I'm assuming you have a certain amount of guns you can collect in the game. So it seemed like looking through the little menus and stuff like that. You can pick up vehicles, take them back to base, keep them, upgrade them, stuff like that. At the beginning of the game, you got this suit called a Ranger suit, which I dubbed the Power Ranger suit, obviously. And I then called myself Texas Walker Ranger.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. So you know, all that get mixed together, and that was fun. You get cool abilities. You get double jump, which is always one of my favorite abilities in any game. Every game should have a double jump. I don't care what you say. You got like this cool like armor break ability where you would bash into someone and it would shred their armor. That was probably my favorite one I unlocked. What was the other one I had? You could detect where enemies were at. That one was kind of lame.
Kind of typical. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say there was one more that I just oh, the dash. The dash. I got a dash too. That was cool. Um, so far the best weapon is the shotgun.
Yeah.
I
Especially
did.
considering you're right up on them anyway.
Yeah, I played 3 hours of this game and felt like I got nothing accomplished, but like in a good way. Like there's a lot to do, and I kind of love it. Um, I defeated a bounty mini boss guy without actually accepting the bounty first, so I guess I got to go kill him again. I wish you would have warned me about that. um, I collected several different weapons, several different abilities. Those were fun. I struggled a lot. I died a lot, but it didn't feel like aggravating to die. Um, and I collected a monster truck. I remember that.
Yeah,
That
you
was
got a
so
monster
fun.
truck.
Yeah, I got a monster truck. Um, what else did I do? Like I felt like I did a lot, but I did nothing at the same time. I killed thousands of enemies. I'm sure. Rode around in a desert a lot. The desert didn't feel like too empty. I mean, it definitely was empty, but not as empty as a lot of open world games seem to be. Like,
Yeah, they tried to give you things to do. Like they had the
yeah,
little guys that challenge you to races.
the trader that comes around. What
Sometimes you'll
else?
just see enemies out there randomly.
Enemies, the
Mutants,
outpost,
the big ass.
gas stations, all those things. I never saw any of the big ass guys in the
They'll be
wild.
out there too.
I was looking for them. Once you said that, I was like, I want to fucking kill one. Which ended up taking me to what was his name? Lugnut, the weird mini boss I faced. And I guess I have to reface because he's a fucking bounty target. Um, you gather money and this crystal type thing, which I totally forgot the name of. Starts with an F. Ferrite, Ferret, something like that. I don't know. Ferret's a Pokemon. Um, yeah, use those to upgrade or buy ammo, stuff like that. Overall, I say this game's probably an 8 out of 10. With that said, I don't know if it's a playlist because of having the option between this and playing like, Borderlands.
For the 100th time, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I'd
I'd
probably go
rather
back to
just keep
Borderlands.
playing the same game a million times than
Well,
actually
like you
play a
said, this is
different
the
one.
poor man's version of Borderlands. Borderlands feels more rewarding to play.
For the
You know,
100,000th time, though.
yeah.
Like,
Look. They made a good game. What can I say?
okay, no, still don't make sense. It's not that to me. That doesn't really like justify. I can play a game I've never played all the way through, or I can play a game that I've already played a million times, and there's no surprises coming up. No,
Okay,
nothing. I
that's
already
just
know.
it. Just kind of made me feel like I want to play Borderlands again. It gave me that feeling. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I still played, 2.5 hours worth, depending on how much you count the technical difficulties I had. So, I mean, if one day I get bored, I might turn it back on. But if I'm thinking, hey, I want to go play one of those, looting games, I'll think of Borderlands first. I like the. It felt more rewarding to kill enemies. Instead of getting some stupid blue crystal, you get different types of guns, and you get to find the best one. Plus, I'm always down to change my playstyle in Borderlands. Play as an assassin or something. Anyways, this week we are talking about our just future of gaming in general, what we think is going to happen, what we want to happen, and the downsides of might happen. So, you were doing a list. Why don't you go ahead and start off with your stuff?
Well, the way I made my list was I set it up between the good things I think that will happen, and you can just piggyback off of it.
Yeah, let's start with what we think will happen because I feel like it's kind of obvious what we think is going to happen.
I don't know. I don't think it's that obvious, but
honestly, I see everything.
some of the stuff is like already started, but hasn't really gone to the fullest. Like some of the things I think.
Mhm.
Like, well, for one, I think everything's going fully digital. They're just going to get rid of
Yep,
discs.
that's 100%
Right?
what I'm thinking.
They've already kind of started that, but they're still making disc versions. But you can tell.
They kind of don't want to anymore. They don't put much effort into getting like till selling their disc like they used to. You know, I
Yeah.
think like stores have stopped doing midnight
I mean,
releases, stuff
GameStop
like
is
that.
pretty much dead too. So, like,
Oh, you mean the Think Geek store?
is that what it is now?
The Think Geek was a company they bought out that sells
So-
like your Marvel
Yeah.
stuff, your Funkos, stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's how they get all that product in.
Funko.
But
That's funny because years ago there used to be a Funko Land. It was it was like basically just like GameStop.
I got some new Funkos yesterday.
God. So yeah, I think they're definitely going to get rid of like physical copies of games.
I would go as far as to say they're probably going to start doing like cloud gaming is the future.
Well, that's sort of my second point is that cloud gaming will be improved and more popular. Because right now it's almost like even if you do the cloud gaming for the Xbox, it says it's in beta,
Yeah, it does.
and
I
the
think
most
the
common
Steam one does
complaint is
too.
there's lag and shit like that. I think they're gonna find a way to iron all that out.
They're gonna fine point every single problem and fix it. It's that's my biggest prediction for 10, 20 years down in the line. It's all gonna be cloud gaming
And
or
it's gonna be kind of
something
funny.
like cloud gaming.
It's kind of funny if they do go that way because then you got all the things that have failed with their cloud gaming already, like the what is that
Stadia.
thing, Stadia and shit like
Stadia.
that. But I do think that's a big part of the future of gaming is going to be cloud related stuff.
Well, I'll tell you the biggest problem that was with Stadia, where we're on this subject was they were charging you for, the console that's supposed to be not a console, a little dongle to plug in. It was like a $60 thing, so you already had to pay the. Actually, it was probably a lot more. I don't know exactly how much it was. It was expensive for what it did. All it was a streaming device. Nowadays you could pick up a $20 Roku and be fine. And when it comes to gaming, your phones can cloud game and stuff like that. We don't need another expense to add to that, unless you want something like a I forgot what it's called, the Steam Deck or the Razer thing. If you want a dedicated streaming device, it's probably going to be what you get. But it was some dongle that came with a crappy controller.
Yeah, I mean that's what's going to happen. You're going to have your pitfalls. You're going to have stuff that fails in order for someone else to succeed and do it better.
Google is also really bad of giving up on projects too.
Yeah.
I take you back to one that I really thought was cool, but ended up failing was the Google Glass.
Yeah. Seemed like a cool idea.
It's a really cool concept. There's recently another company released something. I can't think what it's called, but it's sunglasses that have monitors in them, and they're real cool. They're like $200, and I'm tempted to pick up a pair, but it's like I don't think I'll ever use them. But they're cool. They're really cool.
It's kind of like the spy glasses or whatever, where
Kinda.
you have like the rear view behind you.
Yeah,
so you
I'll
can
have to
sit
send you-
facing this way, but you're watching what's behind you.
I'll have to send you the video I watched on it recently,
Yeah.
but they're really cool. but stupid. I don't know.
So on my PlayStation 5, the box,
Mhm.
it
It
says,
advertises,
huh?
doesn't it? Excuse me. Doesn't it advertise the VR headset?
No, I'm
On
not
the
talking
box?
about that. I'm not talking
Oh.
about that yet. On the box, it says 8K,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard complaints about this shit.
even though it really right now is only really at a decent frame rate push 4K. But I do think that's the future.
It's 8K. Isn't there only one game that supports 8K?
I don't know, but ultimately that's why it's the future, not the now. Um, 8K. I mean, I don't personally give a shit for 8K because I know that people don't see in 8K. They may see a difference, but they don't really see in 8K. You don't even see in 4K.
No,
So,
okay, there's like 100 games that are supported in 8K. My bad.
but I mean, just because it'll play in 8K doesn't mean it'll play well. That's my
No.
point.
What I heard is they would it would go to 8K, but it would still drop to 4K or something.
Well, what it does is it renders it down into 4K and does some kind of like special AI type shit that boosts it so it looks better on 8K.
Kind of seems like
They kind of do that already with other stuff like 4K stuff. Sometimes will really render at 1440p, but will be up. They call it up something to upscale it to 4K. So
kind of
it's not
seems,
native.
yeah. Kind of seems kind of not exactly false advertising, but borderline. If you ask
Yeah.
me.
I mean, it might be false now, but I don't think. I think far enough into the future
No, yeah.
because they just don't ever seem to realize that they've gone quite far enough. Like I said, no one sees an 8K. I don't give a fuck who you are. Your eyes are not that good.
I see blurry K, man.
Yeah. I see dead people.
Usually in the future with yours.
So speaking of that, the 8K part, I think there will be more TVs with high refresh rates and smart TVs built with cloud gaming apps built in.
Oh yeah. That's definitely a possibility, and I could definitely see that. And I could see it's a big advertising thing too. You can game on your TV straight from your TV. You know,
Well, I mean, like you can game on your TV now. It's still better to game on a monitor
you know what I
as
mean.
far as for speeds and refresh rates as well as response time. I think they're going to start making TVs. I think they already have. Like there's some, it's an LG, some crazy ass name. It's expensive as hell. And obviously, the more of these things that get produced, the prices do tend to go down a little bit to
Yeah,
be affordable for regular, normal people, not millionaires and shit.
yeah.
Um, so I think that they'll just be more common, and you'll be able to actually game on a big ass TV and not have to be a monitor designed for gaming.
Hmm.
So it could still be a TV, which is also designed to do TV type things, watching your ESPN or whatever. Also, but
I mean, you could do that on your gaming monitors too, but they're not nearly.
they're not
as,
designed for that.
Yeah, they're not nearly as big.
They don't have necessarily the ports for TV.
Well, I guess this one is. This one's kind of that big.
Yeah.
I think this
So-
one's bigger than the TV we have right here in the living room.
God. So it's like that. I mean, that's one of those things I think is going to happen. The only other thing I put for the good things that I think will happen is they will make improvements in VR. I do not think VR is the future. I think it's the most futuristic thing that they've come up with so far. But I don't think it seems to attract enough of your game of like percentage of your gamers to really. Everybody's already bitching about PSVR 2 just for the fact that it costs just as much as the damn console.
$400. I looked at that. I was like, should I pick this up too? No.
It's VR. Most people that that game want to do what? They want to sit down and chill.
Yeah,
No, you want to lay down and fucking have a handheld in your hand. VR, you can't just lay down. You can't just sit down and have a relaxing day. You got to fucking stand up and move around like an idiot.
So I would totally do VR if I had the room. You have to have a lot of room for that shit. Yeah, like a whole room dedicated to that at least.
I think it's going to be just like Kinect, where it was like, oh, that's neat, and PS Move and all that shit. Oh, that's neat. That's fun. Well, fuck this, man. I just want to put a controller in my hand in game. I don't want to get a damn workout.
See,
if I want to work out, I'll go to the gym.
My whole thing is though, what we call VR now. I don't even really think it's like VR. When you think virtual reality,
you wouldn't have a headset on at all.
You wouldn't. No. You could probably have a headset on and everything like that, but your physical body wouldn't move. You'd be moving around with like your mind in game.
I don't think we're anywhere close to that shit.
No, I don't think we're close to that. But that's what I would want from VR. Where you just sit back with your headset like this, and you're playing and you're winning. You shit.
I'd fall asleep trying to play some shit like that.
I mean, I think that's the idea.
People go into fucking comas and never come out of them and shit because they're
basically
like in the game. It sounds more like some shit for some Total Recall or like some new.
There's a few
fucking
anime that dive into that idea. One of them I
don't think they'll ever go that far because they still haven't even gotten the current version of it anywhere near right.
No, I know you're not a big anime fan, but you should check out like the first episode of Sword Art Online. That's kind of what I think of when I think of like virtual reality. Not getting trapped in the game. That's kind of fucked up. Not being able to leave if you die.
Or what? I mean, like, are they going to implant like chips into your head? Like, you see what I'm saying?
No.
At some point, in order for it to happen inside of your brain, they got to get in your brain. You can't just lay there and like.
Well, it was like some headset thing they had that would do it. I can't really think of what it was called or like how it worked. It used some kind of it used some kind of microwave signals or something, which is also how it killed them when they died in the game. And it literally make their heads explode, which is fucked up.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? I think they're playing on dangerous ground if they're getting inside your head and control it. Not, even if they're not inside technically, but they're like controlling. What are they going to do? Send waves into your brain?
I don't know.
See what I'm saying? So I think that's going to push a boundary that I don't think I think the government and everybody would step in before they'd allow that shit.
I think that's what I think of when I think of virtual gaming. I think what we have now is more like a physical gaming. You're doing physical movement to do that shit. Same as the Kinect.
So do you have any other good things that you
I don't know if it's necessarily good or not, but I could honestly see every company coming out with a more stronger kind of portable device like the Steam Deck, the Razer one, the Logitech one.
Yeah, but that still goes back to the cloud. I mean, if you're going to play on a portable device, it has to either be what? Cloud, sort of cartridge.
Yeah.
Or some sort of
or downloading in the game.
Live service. Yeah. Something.
That's what my theory is that every company will eventually come out with one of those kind of devices. And I don't think
there's already some amazing ones. The problem is they're not affordable.
Oh yeah.
The shit INEO makes or ANEO, whatever the hell you want to call it.
One of these days we should just write this down for a topic because I'd love to have conversations about just those devices. What do you even call them? You just call them handheld consoles, or they're mini computers?
Yeah, some of them are.
I mean, they all are basically, but
I mean, everything is a computer of some sort. But
all right, Mr. Science,
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Maybe one day, me and you should just sit down in a call and like design our own like ideal handheld. Hey, man, my fucking nipple itches, man. The fuck?
That's weird.
Yeah. So, what were your bads? Because I didn't necessarily.
Okay, so my bads. Okay. I think it's going to be unaffordable for most people. A lot of the best shit is going to be like.
It's like that now, though.
I mean, not really, because there's like mid-range stuff. Like, yeah, not everyone can get a fucking 4090.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can't get a fucking 4090, but I can get a computer that I can game on just fine.
Not everyone can get like a.
It's not hella cheap, but
I'm
it's
also thinking.
affordable. It's just barely affordable.
I'm also thinking like gaming equipment. Not everyone can afford some racing setup or
Scuff
something
controllers
like that.
and
Scuff controllers. The.
But then there's always the knockoff versions that, maybe there's some concessions there. They're not quite as premium, and the plastic on it isn't as whatever, but it's still fucking plastic. So
Yeah.
but I do think that the problem is if you get too advanced, it's costing you too much to make the shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to charge even more too much to fucking put it out there. I remember what was it, maybe the 90s to like early 2000s, they were coming out with consoles that were too expensive and no one bought them. Yeah. It might have been great. Atari Jaguars and Neo Geos and shit that were coming out for like $1,000 fucking brand new.
Anytime I watch 15 facts about blah blah consoles, they always mention that period of time.
Yeah.
Because
I think that we're gonna get another period of time.
The dark age of gaming is what they called it.
We're gonna get another one where it's just fucking only rich people can afford these great things, and then therefore it could potentially die out.
I could see something like that. Honestly. When you brought up the pricing of this stuff before, I thought you meant like individual games would get too expensive. But like,
I think the hardware is where the money's at.
Yeah, I could see that. But also,
I mean, they've already upped the price of games. I mean, hell, I think as early as I can remember, games used to be like $20 and $30 brand new. The AAA shit.
Okay,
now they're more than double that.
I can't remember this far back like GameCube era, Game Boys, the original Xbox. They were like $30, right? I thought so. I think
so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
So, my whole thing is too the Xbox and PlayStation. They sell their consoles at a loss, and they're still pretty expensive. $400 for a console that just comes with a disc tray.
$500 for the version that has the disc.
Whichever. Is it 4 or 5? Oh, yeah, it was 5.
It's $500 for a PS5 with the disc, and it's $400 without it.
Yep, and then the Xbox is $500 for disc and $300 for no disc, which I mean,
which you can find for $250 though. But
if you're gaming on a budget, pick one up for $250. Shit, back in Black Friday, Target was doing. You bought the
$229 or $230 something.
You bought the console for $250, and they give you a $50 gift card.
Yeah, that's a Black Friday type thing.
That's not bad though. It's already on sale plus an extra $50 that you'd probably spend anyways. But I mean, they intentionally sell these consoles at loss. Yep. And they make their money back with games. So I get gaming, like games, physical games going up and stuff like that.
Yeah, for Xbox, they're making so much off of them Game Pass. It's ridiculous. And yet,
it's such a great service.
So you're getting a deal, but still you're allowing them to charge less for their consoles. So it works out great. Everybody wins, and I love it when everybody wins. Another one.
I was gonna add on that I don't really think they can make the actual hardware too much more expensive, or it's gonna be a thing where no one will buy them. I can see them try, but it's not going to succeed.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the 360 that was too expensive on release. No, it's PlayStation 3. Sorry, it's PlayStation 3 that was too expensive on release, and they had to cut the price. Like how I can't remember. I was young back then. It was like 3 months.
I remember that.
It was not a long.
No, it was like a year in, because that's when the Xbox dropped the
better model or
whatever their next gen. So
yeah,
was it Xbox One or Xbox
360?
Whatever.
If it was
360. So
but like I think there is a point where they're going to try setting out some new, more expensive console, and they're going to realize like, no, we can't do this. We got to cut prices because I mean they've done it before.
Yeah. Another thing I think is we may possibly witness the death of consoles.
Honestly, yeah.
It could very well become where everything's pretty much PC.
Yep. I think the biggest kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Push towards that was 2020, 2019, whichever year the newer consoles came out. You had that whole like
chip shortage and all that bullshit.
Chip shortage. Thank you. A shortage is the word I was looking for. A shortage. You had the shortage where consoles weren't coming out, stuff like that. No one had them. Everyone started making PCs, man, and people start realize, hey, this is actually kind of better. It's gonna be
more expensive.
I mean, overall, kinda, but if people want to play these games. If the consoles aren't readily available, they're gonna move to computer. If and eventually everyone's just gonna migrate over. It's ultimately better.
Yeah.
So that leaves questions like, what are the companies going to do? They're going to start developing for computer gaming, or they're going to try to dig their hand in accessories, or maybe make their own GPUs, stuff like that.
Which would be good. I would love for there to be more GPUs companies.
Oh, yeah.
Then they'll be forced to have lower prices. Right now, they can just eat you alive because there's only two major ones and one trying to get in there. So.
Yeah, what is it? The
Intel is trying to make GPUs too, even though they have CPUs.
So CPUs is what they made. Yeah, okay. The two
big AMD and Intel are the two CPUs. The two big GPUs is NVIDIA and AMD.
Yeah.
But now, and NVIDIA's got the way bigger piece of the pie, so therefore that's why their shit's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But AMD has a piece of it that's much bigger than what Intel is able to do right now, but they're trying. So I encourage anybody to at least give them a shot. So at least there's 3 people in the game and not 2. Hopefully they don't have to bow out.
Yeah, I've always seen like PC as being as expensive as it can.
Yeah, they'll be as expensive as you'll let them, basically.
But it also kind of works out for them because you can make your computer as good as you want, If you don't want to spend how much is a 4090 now?
Oh my god, like damn near $2,000.
All right, if you don't want to spend the $2,000 on it, you can get the 3090 for $800, somewhere in that area.
I guess.
I don't know.
I mean, what their MSRP is and what you can actually buy them for are 2 totally different things too.
Yeah, so. yeah, that's that too. But
price-wise, that's where AMD wins. For what you get for the price, AMD wins. But
I can see that.
Another thing I see is smaller companies being swallowed up by bigger ones. They just won't be able to compete. Like smaller development companies.
Yeah, like this real small company that was going on is being bought out by Microsoft.
No, that's not a small company.
What is that company? The real small company.
Activision is not small.
Oh yeah, there it is, Activision.
No, Activision is not a small company, but they're not as big as Microsoft. But
I will say there are some very small companies that have a big role they play in some companies.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest one I know of is Nintendo and Game Freak. Game Freak is a very small company. Game Freak develops Pokemon games. They develop, I think they develop some like mobile games. They don't develop much, but they, Pokemon is one of the highest rated series in the world, if not the most famous, best-selling series in the world, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think it's the most recognizable franchise, stuff like that. And they're developed by a small company. Whether or not that's a good thing is up to other people. But, small companies out there getting eaten up by big companies that ruin their gaming and stuff like that. That is a bad thing that's been happening lately.
Yeah.
You got any other examples? Because
for small companies?
Yeah, the one I can think of is happened a while ago is Rare.
Yeah, I mean it's stuff you don't like when you turn a game on, you'll see their little like logo or whatever,
Oh,
and then
I just thought of another one. I can't remember if they're Dice or
well,
Dice.
Dice does EA
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
like Bad Company and
Are they still around anymore? I haven't seen anything
I
from
don't
them in a
know.
while.
I don't know. They probably got bought out.
I thought they were bought out already.
Well, maybe that's what it is.
Yep, they were still making games. I thought. I don't know. It don't matter.
Well, supposedly, like PlayStation got a deal with Bungie now, which is the opposite of the way it used to be because Bungie was the ones that made Halo.
Yeah. Didn't they
Now,
also? Didn't they
343
also
makes Halo, and yeah, Bungie also did what you call it.
that horrible Blink game or whatever?
Oh, I don't know.
That's the one I'm thinking of. I know Bungie did a few games, but did they work on Mass Effect?
Mm-mm.
No.
That was Bethesda, and
Yeah, that's right. It's one of the B companies, man. There's like
yeah.
17 B companies. Come up with a different letter to start your name with, man. We don't need Blizzard, Bethesda, Buzznold,
Buzz, no, okay. Beanox.
Beanox,
Um,
bitches. We don't need these.
bitches. Also, I think that scalping will become even worse as prices become a little less attainable, which only going to make it even that much worse.
That one wasn't even on the thought of, like, on the tip of any thought of my mind, man. Scalping.
Look how bad it has been.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's still going on, and I mean, you
No one
can
wants
go.
their shit though. Right now, no one's buying from scalpers because you can still get them. Like you can still buy a PS5. It might take you a little longer to find one, but you can actually buy one at retail at the regular price.
Yeah, if anyone's looking for one right now, go to the Sony website. They have them readily available on there. I bought mine straight off there. It's gonna be here Tuesday, supposedly.
So now our wheels will be much more loaded up. Well, at least his will. Mine's pretty much the same.
Mm.
Well, I got a
Uh,
few games I was able to add because I also got a PS5. But
yeah, but I was checking Facebook Marketplace because like, maybe I can hook myself up on a deal. People are
it's
selling
shady.
people are
fucking
selling
shady.
the digital versions for $600.
People are selling computer parts used for as much as they cost new. I don't even understand. They think there's idiots out there, and I guess there are, or they
If
wouldn't
there's
even be able
suckers
to.
to buy them, they'll sell them, man. And I don't blame them. I mean,
I do. I blame them because they're part of the fucking problem. Anyway, that was all for the good and the bad. Um, Now there are things that I hope will happen, which I'm not holding out on hope. I don't really think none of this shit will necessarily
yeah,
be the
I think
case.
this
But
Hope one's gonna be the biggest.
yeah.
I hope there's no more shortages ever again. I mean,
No, I ain't going that far. I'm saying I'm hoping, like for example, I hope there's better security and less accessibility for hackers and shit like that. Hopefully they figure out better ways to kind of prevent some of our favorite games from getting ruined by damn hackers
yeah, I can
and
see that.
shit like that. The hell was that?
Washer.
Washer.
Yeah, it was a washer.
And you know, by some miracle, maybe, hopefully, things will become more affordable, not so much less affordable, like I'm thinking they will. That would be nice.
Yeah,
I know one thing I've heard you bitch about is hopefully they'll spend more time fine tuning rather than pushing new gaming
absolutely,
products.
absolutely. I want
The
games.
only way that happens though is if we start holding them accountable.
Yeah, no, you're right. We need to start not practicing in the whole pre-order business, shit like that. Because when you pre-order a game, they don't have to complete it when they send that shit out. They just have to send it out, and you've already bought it.
Yeah, they've already got their money.
Exactly. Everyone, stop pre-ordering games.
That's not really the only thing, though. You don't know until you play it. So,
I know, but if you buy it before it's out,
yeah.
they're not gonna put as much work into it, man. Especially
Well,
nowadays when they're $70 a game, dude.
one of the big things I've noticed lately that they're protecting themselves with is they do these fucking embargoes on reviews.
Don't even that's so fucking stupid.
So no one's allowed to review the shit until it releases, even though they give it to them early so they can go ahead and make their little review video. But they can't release that video until either the day before or the day of or whatever that the game releases. There's always a date that's really close to release date.
Once your pre-order is already done and set with, man.
They even do that with graphics cards and shit now, too. Like products, not just games and shit.
I don't think that's a new thing, though. I don't
think it's a new thing, but it's a more prevalent thing.
I think it's a thing that's just been talked about more.
Yeah, because they don't have to put an embargo on a game that's great.
Yeah,
it's 100% complete and great. They're not worried that the reviewer is going to tell everybody how great the game is. Not to mention, I mean, in a lot of cases of the reviews, I always feel like they're being like paid to kind of gas the shit up better. You can tell when they're not because they'll be honest.
I always feel like, in any review, they're going to be biased one way or another. I've seen some videos where like they'll name every good thing about the game, and then they'll talk about why they hate the game. Actually,
yeah, it's so usually wonderful. Oh well, I'll tell you what, this is a real piece of shit, though.
No, they'll be like, not necessarily in that order. It could be they talk about why the game sucks, but here are good things about the game, or
right.
The game rocks, but here are some bad things. I usually feel like it's very one-sided, and they'll throw one or two things in just to be like, God, what the fuck's up with my nipple, man? It really itches. I think it's too hairy.
Might be.
You think I should shave it?
Probably.
Maybe wax it. But I think, if we stop doing things like pre-ordering games or stop buying these games in general that come out half baked.
I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I'll very rarely. There's very few things I'll pay full price for because shit goes on sale.
Yeah, there's that.
And
too.
by then, because you've seen enough to know at least that if it's something you think you'll get your $20 worth versus your $70 worth.
Yeah.
Some games are good, but they're just not $70 good. So if you catch them when they're $20, it might justify the price.
It's real hard to justify the $70 with most games, man. It's not like it sounds.
Right now there are games that look great for a lot of people, like the Hogwarts
game that looks fucking amazing, but like
I mean,
I can't justify a $70 purchase.
I'm not into open world games, so I wouldn't pay $70 for it anyway. But even if if I was into every aspect of that game, I would still hold out and wait just because it's like
I don't know about you either, but like going from $60 to $70 crossed some limit in my head. Or it's like, nah, $70 is too much. 60 was fine.
I don't know, man. 60 was still to me like, okay, so
it wasn't like a if a new game came out every week, I'd be like, yeah, $60 here, $60 there. It was like, okay, every 3 months I could throw $60 in a new game. But
just think about some games that you paid $60 for that you regretted paying $60 for, that you maybe would have thought it was worth the $10, $15, $20.
What games did I regret buying? Maybe Borderlands. No. I got a lot of good time out of that game. Now, I can't think of any offhand, man.
I didn't pay full price for it, but
to be fair, you bought most of my games.
Yeah, so a lot of games though, like I'd pick them up on Black Friday. They'd still be like $30, but they're normally still selling for $70. Damn.
Yeah.
What the hell's the name of that game? It's one of them that you liked, but I definitely don't like.
Far Cry? No, you like
No,
Far
I like
Cry's,
Far Cry.
even though they're open world.
It's the stupid one where you like, where you, it's a shooter and you bust through the walls and you
Oh, Siege.
Siege. I hated that game. I paid for it. I paid 30, I think 30, $35 or something this year that it came out. And it was so trash to me. Oh my God.
So if that game was
You think
like,
that game is worth $70? Even when it first came out? Do you really?
no, it definitely wasn't when it first came out. It had a lot of problems when it first came out. Um, it
Yeah, they
actually,
have seasons that they charge even more
no,
money for. That's fucked up,
I
man.
mean, you don't have to buy every season. You can buy.
You don't have to, but you know what I'm saying.
Anyways, what happened in the first season it came out? Basically, after that season, they rebuilt the whole game, so it's like completely different, but while keeping the same basics.
Yeah.
But definitely not worth $70 in the beginning, man. I didn't even play it back then, and I know about those problems they had. It's basically a dog shit game on a stick.
So
But now I think it's fun. I mean, it pisses me off too much because I'm not a great gamer, but I think it's fun.
can you think back to right before this current gen came out, the new Xbox and the new PlayStation?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. Every console generation like that, they put out some of the best shit right at the end.
Always.
That's one of the things I hope that they will at least allow whatever the current gen is before they introduce a new gen to realize its full potential and give you 3 or 4 years worth of the best, especially when they went from regular Xbox, original Xbox to Xbox 360. Some of those games at the end of the original Xbox lifespan was amazing. Amazing games. They were finally so much better than the rest of the shit. It's like they finally started using the console's whole potential to make these games, and then they come out with a new fucking console.
I can't remember what games it was that me and you talked about, but I'm like 90% sure me and you had this conversation when the new Xboxes came out. We were having about a specific game, and I can't for the life of me remember.
And that's just how it goes, man. They'll be amazing. It'll be oh wow. And here we are weeks away or months away from a new console dropping. And now they're finally coming out with games that are
actually spectacular.
Totally up to the potential of the hardware. They don't use all the hardware at first. They just kind of develop whatever. And the reason it is too is because at the beginning, they still make games for both previous gen and current gen.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Then they finally move on to where they only make the current gen. But usually that's not until there's only a couple, maybe 2-3 years left in that lifespan before they come out with another console.
Mm-hmm. Man, I had a friend who was complaining that they're stopping making games for both gens. He's like, they should give us time to buy. I'm like, dude, the console's been out for 3 years.
How much time do you need, buddy?
I literally told him, I was like, the console's been out for 3 years now. Either you're going to get one or you're not. They can't afford to keep supporting both, or all 4 gens.
And if they're going to do that, then that's what's going to happen, and the games will be less quality because they have to make it where it'll work for both. So nah.
It's sad.
And why would they if you're still just going to keep buying the previous gen stuff? That's fucking stupid.
I've never once even thought that anyone would think like that, but no, they need to keep supporting the old gen. It's like, well, what's the point of the new gen coming out?
Yeah.
If he didn't say that, I would have never even thought anyone would think that. That's such a stupid thought to me.
Yeah. They should never move forward. They should always live in the past.
That is basically
kiss my ass and give me what I want.
Basically, because he doesn't want to buy a new PlayStation. He's complaining that they're stopping, the production
PS4 stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one more thing that I was hoping for is I'm hoping they make sort of a virtual arcade sort of scenario that it would combine something like laser tag and VR.
Yeah, yeah.
An actual place you can go to, like Dave and Buster's or Frankie's or something, and actually do this shit.
Man, Frankies suck nowadays.
But I still love the laser tag in Frankie's.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So imagine doing that with like VR, where it don't have to be laser tag every time. It could be this game this time.
You could literally
Something
be
totally
Master
different.
Chief. You know,
Some fake sport thing, a shooter, like whatever, and they can use the VR to do it and somehow find a way to safely do it, where they're not running. People aren't busting their heads in the walls and shit.
So I'm kind of in the same boat, but I don't want VR to be like that. I want it to be more augmented reality. You know, AR. So, do you even know what AR is?
Yes, but I mean, ultimately, I'm not even imagining how the hell they could really do it.
I don't. I mean, I don't know how they could do the VR one either. Where you're.
I mean, the
running
VR,
around
everyone puts on a fucking headset, man,
and just run around.
it's just like the way you do the laser tag. You have to put on that fucking the vest and your gun and your head, whatever.
Yeah, well, that's more AR then, because you're still in the real world doing things. You know.
But you're using. I don't know. Your AR is different from my AR, maybe. I don't know.
Augmented reality. So
Yes,
basically,
I know.
you know, you're looking through, for example, the Google Glass. You saw your fucking screen in front of you. That's still augmented reality. I don't know.
I don't know. Still, ultimately, it's going to be done just
Either
like
way,
VR.
what you're talking about is what I'm thinking is would be cool.
Yeah. I think it would be cool, though, if they found a way to do that. That's pretty much everything I've had for the future of gaming.
Yeah, I
I don't know if you have anything to add.
I'm really hoping for some kind of like sword art type VR. That's all I can think of. Or just having like sword
Sword
farts,
farts.
sword fights in VR or AR or anything like that. I think would be epic.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah,
Doesn't always have to be the same. It doesn't have to be a
no,
shooter necessarily, but they need
imagine,
an arena for this to happen, and maybe you can
yeah,
do like leagues and everything. Like,
imagine track and field, but you're being chased down by Godzilla or
God.
running from hordes of zombies. That would be cool.
Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, they would have to have the means to do it, and an arena for something like that to happen.
Yeah, mostly what I'm hoping for in the future is like more, you know, better games coming out, better full games, stuff like that, and like more crossplay. So you know, right now, um, Switch and Xbox, they're in agreements with their crossplay stuff. A lot of their games are crossplayable. The biggest one I know of is Minecraft. So like if I'm on my Xbox and you're on your Switch there, and you're like, "Hey, you want to play some Minecraft?" Oh man, I don't have Minecraft for my Switch. No, we can play together still because I have it for Xbox and you have it for your Switch.
Um, so Xbox is already doing they're coming up with like a family plan, and they're already trying it in like other countries right now. So it's sort of like it's Game Share Plus, basically. It's like friends and family.
Okay.
It costs a little bit more, so they don't really mind you sharing. It's PlayStation that's greedy. Um, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know about as far as cross-platform because the game, especially like you're talking about Switch. Switch is a whole different like
Well, yeah, it was just the
hardware and everything.
I
But
know
like
that.
you could see it happening between like maybe PlayStation and Xbox, but they don't even like each other right now. They're being the biggest assholes they can be toward one another, mostly because of PlayStation. But
Fuck, what was that game? I want to say it was one of the Call of Duties, I think. Um, there was some kind of delay or problems because Sony basically was all anti crossplay. No, it wasn't. Okay, I don't remember what game there was, but there's a game where
It
Nintendo
was
and
Battlefield, wasn't it?
no, because it was on Nintendo.
Oh no, I didn't know
We don't have
that.
Battlefield or COD, but
Well,
it
see,
was
it's hard to get Nintendo involved in that crossplay just because
but
they're.
no, Nintendo's all down for it.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about hardware wise and whatever. Like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. But like Nintendo's all down for the cross playing stuff. But there was some game that was like delayed or not coming out, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. And even though I knew I was caught up in the news for it,
I remember hearing something about that, but
but it was just because Sony doesn't want to do the crossplay thing. They think it takes money away from them, which is stupid.
yeah, probably I can understand that. That's their whole model is about making money.
So should we
They
get to
don't
our
really make
wheels?
gamers happy, but they want to make money anyway. So we get to our what?
Our wheels
Yeah, man, we should
spin.
totally spin the wheel.
Yeah.
You know, should probably do that. So
Excuse me.
yeah, we should probably definitely do that. Let's see.
Yeah.
Pull up the wheel spin here and see what we could come up with.
Ugh.
I gotta set my damn PC to
Man, do I have to make a new account when I get my PlayStation?
I don't think so. You still got your old one?
No, that was yours.
All right, so yeah, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and do this
Wheel spins.
wheel spin. First one we're gonna spin is how many wheels? How many spins, rather? How many wheels?
Yep.
How many wheels? The same, 2 wheels.
There's only
All
one
right.
wheel there.
You wanna go first?
Well, yeah, if you get on the screen.
Hang on.
Why don't we go ahead and both spin how many spins we get?
All right. Open that up some. All right, I'll go first, hell.
You get
3.
Triss.
All right, and you get 2.
2. All right.
All right. Sounds good. Back this thing up.
No,
Am I satisfied? Do I love it? Fuck off. All right.
now, before we spin mine, I want to say if for whatever any reason I land on a PlayStation game and my PlayStation gets delayed or doesn't come in for whatever reason,
Till at least Friday.
yeah, we'll respin off screen and we'll put a note in the description.
Yeah. But I don't foresee that happening.
I'm praying that'll happen because I will cry. I'm very excited to get it.
Gunfire Reborn.
I
That's
thought
one.
the game that was right before this one, it said Shattered, but I read Shattered.
Sharded. Sharded. That sounds like a great game. Detroit Become Human.
You haven't played that?
Mm-mm.
I swear you. It's a tall tale like game.
Ish, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I might not end up playing it this time. Depending on what 3 games I get.
Hotline Miami. Got the Hotline bling.
Hotline Miami. What was the first one? Gunfire Reborn.
Yep. And then Detroit Become Human.
I'm still gonna play fucking Detroit. I don't care if it's
Okay.
Because
I hear it's a great story. So I mean,
that's what I'll go with. I'm going with it because it looks the best out of all these.
plus you just get it off the list. Deal with it now. You never deal with it again.
Yeah. All right. Now let's see. I don't know. I'm probably gonna love it. To be honest. I don't like Telltale games though, but I don't think it's quite that. Damn, look at that wheel, man. You can't even read none of it.
Oh my god, I have so
Packing
many
it so
now.
full. You get 2 spins, right?
Yeah.
Shadows Awakening. Judging by that it doesn't say, it must be on Xbox. Because I put PS5 for everything that's a PS game, so.
I'm excited for my sparkly new PS5.
Oh, that game looks great. Chained
Echoes.
Both of those are Xbox games, so.
All right. I'll say Chained Echoes then.
Chained Echoes, all right. It's a role-playing type game.
All right, sweet.
Looks really cool.
I like to point out I only bought the PlayStation just so you could add more games to my thing.
Yeah, right. I know better than that.
I mean, I also wanted one, but like not. I wasn't in a big hurry to get it. Anyways, as always, if you enjoyed this episode and our content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe as we upload weekly. Usually,
as we try to, anyway.
Yes, we try to upload weekly.
I'll probably stream within the next couple of days, so it might be Tuesday or so, or Wednesday.
I will probably stream on Friday or Saturday again. I'm aiming for Friday, but lately it's been Saturday. Work kills me.
You'll find me on Mystery 8-Ball Gaming.
I'll be Mewil123 on YouTube.
There you go.
Thank you all for watching. You're all noobs.
Deuces.
Deuce McAllister.